Welcome to the Charlie Browne Show. Today we have a special guest at the DewDrop with Dave Jordan. Dave Jordan, good seeing you, bro.
Good seeing you, Charlie. How you doing?
Good seeing you. I'm doing great. Doing great. It's another beautiful day.
Yeah.
A little overcast today, but we're at the DewDrop. Doesn't get much better than this, does it?
Beautiful under these oaks. Yeah.
Beautiful under the oaks. So I had the great fortune of seeing you and your band the other night. Can you explain more what happened that night?
Well, I was up here. I had my trio with me. I call it the Almost Acoustic Trio, and
I like that.
It's actually stolen. Jerry Garcia had a Jerry Garcia band did an album called Almost Acoustic, so I stole it from that. But
well represented, by the way.
Yeah. Like I say, amateurs borrow, professionals steal.
That's a good. I like that one. Amateurs borrow, professionals steal. I'm gonna be borrowing a lot.
Yeah, but I had my trio up here with the great Rurik Noonan on violin and my long-term, very close friend and bass player Will Repholz on bass. And Will's been playing with me now for about 12 years. Been together a long time. And you know, just a magical night at this beautiful place, and the great crowd.
Back home. I left years ago. I was raised in Folsom, so it was nice coming back home. And God, I've been back since right before Katrina.
Yeah.
And then, how long have you been back, or did you always stay here? Or did you travel? Or?
I mean, I've been living in New Orleans since '98.
'98.
And I was in Baton Rouge, LSU. Well, I loosely went to school.
Me too.
I was there from '91 on, and. But I've been basically a touring musician now since the mid '90s, and some years you tour more than others, but I'm always in the country all the time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I tell people when I interview them to try and think of a good story. Would you like to share a story that you haven't maybe shared with everybody, but it's a story?
On the spot,
Throw you on the bus.
Do you have any like specific type of story?
No, I mean I've had some talk about how you were influenced by music. That might be a good one. Where you find some of your inspiration.
Okay.
Or something, maybe a family member impacted you, or a mentor.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to help mentor kids out there. I think this is a positive way to do it.
Well, I didn't grow up in a particular musical family at all. I'm the one. I was inspired. I started playing acoustic guitar when I was about 18, and then when I was 19, I saw George Porter from the Meters play bass, and Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead, and then Dave Schools from a band called Widespread Panic, and that made me want to become a bass player. And for 15 years, I had a national touring band, a funk band. We played New Orleans funk music. And I was the bass player and lead singer. And I learned a lot. My musical sensibility comes a lot from the Meters. And George Porter and Art Neville in particular.
Wow.
Who I've been blessed enough that those guys, they're my heroes and my influences, and then they became my friends.
That's awesome.
And it's the best professional feeling you can really get.
I can only imagine.
And now in my last album, George plays bass on it, and I've recorded with Art Neville, and so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And New Orleans is the kind of place that can happen, because music in New Orleans is passed down. It's it's an oral history, so to speak, and the musical history that. It's not that there's not competition in New Orleans. There is, but it's not like in other places where it's the fabric of the city, and the elders want to teach you it. They want the music to
carry on,
to live.
They're
not possessive of it.
Right, I understand what you mean. I hope everybody understands what I get from your music listening the other night. It's a soul. It's very rhythmic, but it's the soul of the words. If you listen to the words, you took time out, of course, to write it, but you went in depth with it, I gathered, so.
Well, you know, long before I played music, I've always written poetry.
Oh, okay.
I've always been a writer, and I mean, since I was like 10, and my dad wrote 35 books.
Oh, wow.
He's
Well,
in
that's-
academia, they're academic books, but his father was a newspaper editor, so, you know, I'm a words guy. That's how my brain works.
Right.
You know, like, the music part's a lot harder.
Right.
um,
But I gathered that when I heard the words of the music. I knew there was some type of background in writing or poetry, which now makes total sense listening to your music. So.
Yeah. And I like to tell stories. I'm a storyteller, and I like to bring people together, and I like to create scenarios and to tell kind of the stories of the human condition, that, you know, the things we all go through, and love and grief and, you know, joy and
Sadness, happiness.
all of it, you know, and it's all on the table, you know.
It is. And I think you'll see that. I do have clips of him speaking, and of course him singing and playing with his band. Listen to the words real close. I promise you'll get something from it.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I'd like to end on a positive note. Most of my podcasts, I try and ask my guests to say something positive or influential to children.
Yeah.
Like, say someone young is starting in music. I've had a few of my musicians friends say, "Stop now, you're not going to get rich." But most of them, again, will continue to say, follow your passion, follow your dream. How would you like to end this?
I would say to try to be fearless in what you want to emote, to, you know, find your voice and use your voice. And I interviewed George Porter when I was about 22, and I was writing for a magazine, and at the time I was playing a lot of meter songs. That's what I learned, and, you know, we did a lot of covers. And George said to me, he said, you know, you've got to find your own path because you can't have my career. And that was
very good
deep
point.
stuff. You know?
Very deep. Yeah.
And so just try to be true to who you are and the things that mean something to you. And it's very difficult to not compare yourself to other people. We do that in all aspects of life.
For that. Correct.
And in the arts, it's really hard not to do it, and especially if you see someone being successful and you're not as successful, it's hard, and you have to kind of navigate the highs and the lows, and they never really go away. I mean, I'm 52 years old, and, you know, I've played huge shows. I've played for 5 people. You know, it never really stops. You know.
But you have to find your path.
But do it your way, and I think if you can do it like that, you'll always have some sort of satisfaction within it, regardless of the external success.
That totally makes sense, because I'm sure, as everybody in life, you've always had your yay and your nay.
Right.
Just work through those nays and find your way.
Yeah.
So that's great. I appreciate it. And again, Charlie Browne Show. I'm with Dave Jordan. In my link, you'll see some of the videos I recorded the other night, which again were wonderful. And we can follow up with Dave Jordan. I'm sure you have a website, or I'm sure you have a Facebook. I'll link all that in there for him, so we don't have to try and discuss it. Thank you for supporting the Charlie Browne Show, and Dave Jordan for joining us today at the DewDrop. It was wonderful. I think your inspiration has given me inspiration to continue what I'm doing. So
Awesome.
I really appreciate
Good
it,
luck.
Dave.
Thank
Thank you. And thank you guys for watching. See you soon. Bye.